Telltale had always been one of the premium development studios in video games. When Telltale approached Skybound, I remember being so excited about what a perfect match that was.
The best comic book or graphic novel is
The Walking Dead.
There was a lot of interest in The Walking Dead in the game space, and we were kind of navigating like what we would actually do with a Walking Dead game. And I knew that it would be very difficult to do a game where you run around and kill zombies that would be as good or as entertaining as a Left 4 Dead or a Resident Evil or something like that. You know, I knew like, okay, everything they do is very story-driven, and I thought a Walking Dead game that was all story-based would be able to stand out in the marketplace.
When I started, the studio was really growing. Games never really seemed like a vector for me to tell stories in until Telltale. And then once that happened and they hit The Walking Dead, I was like, oh my god, this is basically all of the things I love in one place. You know, filmmaking, storytelling, interactivity. Once I got into it, there's no looking back.
And the BAFTA goes to The Walking Dead!
The Game of the Year goes to The Walking
It was very interesting watching Telltale grow. When it started, I think it was maybe 12 people, 12 or 13, really small. Literally working out of an auto body shop converted into an office. And then that was 80 people up to the completion of Walking Dead Season 1. And then that, of course, exploded. And then there was this very big push to expand and start working on multiple projects at the same time. So it quickly went from 100 to like 300 plus.
I don't think any of us, including the people who were making the game, had the intention of Clementine getting through the season and then moving on. I had no idea that the game would blow up like it did.
The first season of The Walking Dead was a game that the entire studio had to work on at the same time, and then after the success of that, we suddenly just started to expand and expand.
We have breaking news right now, and my heart just dropped into my stomach. From Gamasutra, this is on Twitter. Report, The Walking Dead developer Telltale Games closing down.
Telltale Games is closing their doors.
Looks like they have closed down.
I mean, I was in the middle of reviewing the final season of The Walking Dead.
Right.
I don't know, it's kind of weird to think that I won't finish that.
When I found out about the closure of Telltale, I remember the previous night we'd been up till like 12 or later working on the ratings build for executive review of the 3rd episode. It was about an hour before we were supposed to have that meeting, that review, and I was like trying to squeeze stuff in and do last minute polish so that we'd put our best foot forward.
I was in a voice acting session with Melissa Hutchinson doing the voice of Clementine. And suddenly there's a company meeting called in an hour and no one knows why.
We were about 3 hours in. 2 of the writers, Kent and Adam, were summoned to a mandatory meeting. And we were both like, okay, this is strange. What's going on? But didn't think too much of it.
And sure enough, about an hour later, we were all in the same room and we were being told that the company was shutting down. Our journey was over. We had to be out of the building in a half an hour. Everything I saw from myself, my family, my team was just gone in the blink of an eye.
I would look at like the hashtags on like Twitter or Tumblr or something, and people were just sad. There was a great outpouring of support at the same time, which was really nice. A bunch of people were like talking about Telltale memories and stuff, and there was just like a really sweet one that was like logos of everything we've ever done, like just in black and white, and it just said like "Thank you Telltale" at the bottom, and I was like, oh, all those things I worked on. It's so sweet.
This all sounds very dramatic, and if someone wasn't familiar with games or like the industry, they might be like, well, we're just a video game company. It was very dramatic, and it was a death, and the only way that you can really work through that is with the support of other human beings. The social networks were an amazing place to be.
It's pretty amazing, actually, how much this stuff sticks with people.
I'll never forget it because I remember very specifically it was really Robert who stepped up to us and said, this is something we got to do. Let's go figure it out.
I've also heard tale of the incident where Robert just sort of made a declaration that they would do it no matter what, basically.
We're getting into the weeds of
Right.
the legalities and the contracts and the IP, and Robert Kirkman is laying on the couch in the back, and he went, guys, just stop. This is simple. He said, the story needs to be finished. Go make it happen.
Do you remember where you were when you heard the news?
No. I mean, I feel like I was in a meeting of some sort. I don't remember exactly what the meeting was. You know what? Who cares? I was meeting with Tom Cruise and Steven Spielberg. That's not true. I wish I had a story like that. When it happened here at Skybound, we circled the wagons immediately. We got everybody together just to figure out what we could do. Not being able to tell Clementine's story, not being able to finish Clementine's story, that's a big deal.
This story's been amazing.
Oh, Skybound Games. It's not Telltale anymore.
So happy we're getting an ending.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes! This is what we deserve!
When I first heard about Skybound stepping in to finish the season, like, all I could think about was how much I wanted that, really.
I was so happy to be coming back and finishing it. The idea of not finishing it, I had so many ideas.
I can't think of any game ever that has been canceled mid-development and then been allowed to be finished because someone else came in to invest. They cared enough about the project and the brand and the work we were doing specifically and the specific story that they thought it deserved all this Herculean effort to save. That is incredibly humbling, honestly.
They could have easily said it might not make us money, it's too much of a risk, many things to not do it. But the fact that we wanted to finish Clementine's story because it meant something to the people who were telling it and the people who were experiencing it was just like, all right, we're in the right hands.
We never felt any other developer could pick this up and finish it. If we're going to do this, the only way we can do it, and the only way we want to do it, is with the original team.
On site here, we're about 40 people, and then we've got a handful of team members working remotely. Games don't come back from the dead. It's made it a very special project to go ahead and work on. This was a team that really wanted to come back together and finish this game.
All this. All those times you would ask me if we'd find a home. All I could ever tell you was, we'll see. And your face would fall every single time. And that's what I told myself. But you want to know something I didn't tell you? I never had a plan. I never knew where we were going. I never knew anything. And now I'm gonna cry. Now I'll just sit here and cry. I'm just so grateful that this got finished. And I'm so happy for you guys, so thank you. I'm feeling a little overwhelmed and grateful and just, just so happy that this story got told, got finished. So happy for the Telltale Games crew and, of course, selfishly myself, because I absolutely love this character. And I'm just gonna cry for the next 3 hours, but it's happy tears. This is very different from the tears that were shed back in September.
AJ, I think, is my favorite character of the season, and it's because he grows so much and he's so impressionable.
When we did our initial casting call, AJ was much, much younger. I believe he was 2 or 3 years old. She's got the innocence, but Taylor also kind of brings this built-in swagger to AJ's character that is really, really cool.
We're watching him grow up, and he's growing up in a very harsh reality, and so he's become a lot more cold than we see him in the beginning of the game. We see him really discovering who he is, which is scary to both himself and Clementine and everybody else around him.
Do it, AJ!
Finishing it out with this smaller team of Walking Dead people, it actually was reminding me a lot more of season 1 of The Walking Dead. Kind of robust, lean team of superstars who just work really hard to make it good.
Full team review is great. It's 40 people strewn across couches. We will go through scene by scene. This was after our rewrites and voice pickups, so this is really the first time the episode is up on its feet as a playable whole and really showing what the end product is going to look like.
When the editorial team played through the first playthrough of episode 4, I think there was a 2-word email which was nailed it.
When I first set foot in PAX, saw the booth, it was pretty surreal. It was really cool seeing people play the game in person. I didn't think about it, but I'd never seen that before, and the fact that this almost happened, that was really cool.
This wasn't just ending the final season, it was also ending like all of Telltale's entire legacy.
Thank you always feels like too few words, but really, I can't think of a better way to have finished this.
To all the fans who clamored and screamed and cried when Telltale went under, I'd just love to say an absolute deep heartfelt thank you. Everyone that has loved this game out loud, thank you, because without you we wouldn't have been able to finish what you loved.
Again, there are no words to express the amount of love I have for the fans of this game.
Fans are the reason why we do all this.
We wouldn't have been able to finish this story if it hadn't been for the fans. If the interest wasn't there, if the devotion wasn't there to this character, we would not have been in a position to be able to do that. Really, any fan that's thankful to Skybound, or, me personally, which is very unfounded, pat yourselves on the back. It's, your love for this character really made this all possible, and very appreciative of them, much more so than they could be of us, I swear.
Still not bitten.